Who doesn't like a challenge? And it looks like indices might be challenging the highs again. So joining me is Matt Cheslock to see if that's really going to happen. Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Good. I think we could take out the highs.
I think so. And what's behind that logic?
I think the path of least resistance is to the upside right now. We've been so pessimistic or so negative on a lot of different fronts that the market seems to be pretty accommodative to the upside right now, and that's to start the second quarter. Which after that huge move in the first quarter, everyone kind of thought we'd maybe slow down and see a little bit of a retracement, but we're not seeing that at all.
And we have earnings season coming up, like you just said, and we did walk down those earnings. So what do you think about the banks? Will that be the next catalyst to take it higher?
Tech has been the leadership, right? And it continues to be the leadership group out there. If we can find another one, energy gave us a little bit in the first quarter. Maybe if we get financials, to really get in line here and start to, really contribute to some kind of rally, that would be a good reason to take us higher. If we start to see maybe the 10-year yield bounce here a little bit, that would be good for the banks. We had a revision to the GDP number in the first quarter. That was mildly positive. So we're not so negative on the economy that we were maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Financials will benefit from all that kind of news.
Sure that, Cheslock, but what do you think about energy shares lagging the price while oil remains very elevated?
Yeah, we're going to struggle to get through 70, I think, in Brent. And we saw it fail yesterday. We saw some numbers out of U.S. about, there's excess supply on. What's amazing to me is that we keep missing those analyst numbers every month, and by such dramatic wide margins, and the price of oil will trade on that. I think that maybe they should go to a longer timeline to maybe get their numbers, but that's the top end of the range. I think everyone is comfortable with somewhere around 70 or below. Obviously, even Trump, I think, would probably admit 60 to 70 is probably some kind of sweet spot. So it is lagging, but it's still in probably the range that it should be.
Next week, ahead of the banks, we get earnings from Rite-Aid, and which I didn't even know this is one of the most shorted stocks. So, given that Walgreens kind of, I don't know how to say it lightly. I mean, even Jim Cramer was up on TV being like, "There's nothing good to say about these earnings." Do you think we'll see a short squeeze there, maybe in the healthcare sector?
Yeah, after the Walgreens earnings, I'm sure the shorts piled on pretty aggressively too, and they're really pressing their issue. So if the number comes in better than lowered estimates, that's a good thing. I can't imagine estimates have been walked up after that. They've probably been walked down. Whisper number might be even lower. So a lower bar to hurdle, as they say, makes it a little more daunting for the shorts, especially in the near term. You probably already got that peer study group done where they hit all of the pharmacy stocks. You had the ACA, you had that whole readjustment. That hasn't been a boon for healthcare stocks. So maybe the time is right to start maybe covering some of that instead of getting squeezed at the end.
What's happening with Tesla right now after missing deliveries? I mean, that stock is really going down today. On the upside, NIO, its competitor, which I remember they were showcasing the really cool cars outside, got 2 upgrades today.
Yeah, NIO, had a good show on 60 Minutes a couple months ago that I watched, and the stock, ran to about 8 and backed off to 5 here. Tesla's an interesting story. There's so many haters and there's so many people that love the car. At some point, they're going to have to take a look at what the CEO's doing, what Musk is doing. I mean, he seems to fuel a lot of these fires, and it works when the stock's going up. People can absorb that. But if they start missing numbers and they start not being able to meet some of their credit obligations, that's not going to be good for the stock. And then he's going to be under more pressure. We saw what he's like under pressure, right? When he reacts a little bit irrationally, according to some people. So right now, the stock's in a fragile spot right now, especially after that number today.
Oh, sure. And then his position is also in jeopardy as he's in court today. And like you said, being under fire, you don't want to start fires in Tesla. The whole idea of a Tesla is to keep the atmosphere clean, right?
Well, I think he's got fires burning in multiple places, so good for him. He's a creative guy. There's no doubt about that. But sometimes creativity isn't what the leader of a company should be doing, and they got to focus on some of the fundamentals behind the company.
Sure does. Well, Matt, thanks for bringing down the house today at the New York Stock Exchange. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Absolutely, it was good to see you.